everybody, and welcome back to La Capricornia with me, Priscilla Moreno. I definitely want to start off like always and just thank everybody, for all the support, the love, the likes, for everybody that's following me and subscribing. It does mean so much to me. It means so much to me. And it's not just looking at it as like numbers. If I can reach out and help you guys, that's honestly the main goal of this channel. Is I want to help you guys pretty much go through what I'm going through, or what I went through, and help you guys figure that out if I can. And even if it's to give you a confirmation or to set you down that path, it's pretty much the whole goal of this channel and what I personally have set for you guys. In addition to that, I do have a few surprises coming. So I'm going to have a giveaway that I want to do in September with something that I'm also going to be releasing. So a couple people are going to be lucky with whoever gets that giveaway. So once I get everything set up, you guys will all know what it is. I just want to make sure that you guys know and you guys keep your eyes out for that, because that is coming. Okay, and then make sure you stay to the end of this video because I'm going to be reading your cards for the week, and I'm actually going to be using my regular tarot cards. So I'm going to be using these instead, and I'm going to tell you guys it makes me a little nervous just because there's so many more to these cards, and sometimes I feel like my angel oracle cards speak to me more clearly, but I wanted to use this time because I am learning them, and I definitely have that confidence, which I'll talk about in this video. I definitely have that confidence to trust in myself and listen to the message, and they've been pretty clear for me, and this is just what I'm feeling like doing for this week. So stick around. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like me on all my media. Okay, so when it comes to, being kinder to myself and having that self-talk, or inner voice, be kinder to me personally, I felt like I needed to like reprogram my mind. And, I'm not just talking about, just even being kind as in, career-wise, as in, the way that I look and feel. I had to be happy with it, you know what I mean? And if I wasn't, then it's, being kinder to myself in those struggles, being kinder to myself in those challenges. It's basically like, like people say, it's like loving yourself, you definitely have to love yourself. It doesn't matter. Even if you're not at that level that you want or you wish you were at, you have to be kinder to yourself. I actually was having this conversation with someone a couple days ago about how, we go, every time we grow up and we look back on our lives, we have like this age that we feel it was like our prime time, like where we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, I was in the best shape of my life, or oh my gosh, this was the best time of my life. I was making all these great decisions. Things were going great. And everybody has that. And it's crazy because we're talking about it, and we're talking about perspective with that too, because for me, when I look back on it and think that way, I would want to say it was in my 20s, early 20s, when I felt this way, and I do feel that every time I look back on my life and I think something like that, it's a different age group just because we're growing, probably in 10 years from now, I'm going to say now is my my prime time. And it's always changing because we're not happy where we are at that moment because we don't realize, how well we were doing and how that journey is leading us to the now. And we definitely have to learn to enjoy our journeys just as much as the outcomes. Because it's even like, I had mentioned before, is having that gratitude for like what you have now, while I say, like my early 20s was my prime time, I didn't have my own apartment. I didn't, I wasn't making as much as I was making now, you know. I probably didn't think that I would ever be, you know, in a whole different state and be doing half the things that I'm doing now. But I do feel that was my prime time, because now that I look back on it, that journey, the journey and what I was going through, you know, I realized like the strength that I had back then, and how influenced I was, and how proud of myself for overcoming a lot of things. Um, and I think we have to find ways to like see that in the present moment, you know. And it's like I said, with everything, you know, when it comes down to your looks, when it comes down to how you feel about yourself, when it comes down to your emotions, your career, everything, you have to control your inner voice, and pretty much like reprogram it to, you know, think differently for you. And it's not easy, you guys. It's not, because I know it's been taking me a while. And even to this day, I have my moments where, hey, you know, I have my days where like I can get out of bed and I'm just like, God, I look horrible. And I'm over here like, you know, rushing, trying to put on all this makeup, trying to get ready for work. And then I have some days where like I just wake up and I don't know, I just feel great. I'm having a great day. Like I probably don't put on as much makeup, you know. I'm very like chill about it. Like sometimes even like my hair, I'm super big, you know, making sure it's straight or done right and blah blah. And then I have other days where I'm just kind of like, you know what, it's fine for today. And you know, it's like what makes the difference in those days, right? Is basically all in that self-talk and how you wake up and how you're feeling. And for me, you know, and this might sound a little vain, but like when I do have my bad days, like especially like when I'm just like, oh, I do not feel it today at all. Even if I don't have the energy, for me, I have to like put on my makeup, and I feel like I feel much better, even if I'm not personally feeling that way. I don't know what it is, but everybody will always say like, oh my gosh, you know, you look you look great, you know, you this and that. And I'm just like, I feel horrible right now. But it's just like my own little thing, and everybody has their own little quirks, I guess, that they do for when they're having their bad days. But I know for me, like that's one of the ways I feel like I at least will have. I was like, if I kind of like put myself together, I kind of feel like I can work, you know, I guess outwards inwards for the day, versus, you know, trying to fix myself from that inwards, trying to work outwards, where I don't even have control for the outwards anymore, because, you know, I'm going about my day. So I try to, I guess, to do it that way. And so, you know, on those days, my inner voice is just, you know, it's like crushing me on everything. So it's like, you know, even if I'm running late, it's, you know, telling myself like, oh my gosh, how could you sleep? How can you, you know, how did you like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Even if like I overslept, because, you know, it wasn't my fault. The other day, my daughter actually unplugged my phone in the nighttime, I guess. I don't know how she like shifted it, but it fell off the charger and it was like dead in the morning. And I wasn't even running that late. It literally was, I want to say I just woke up 5 minutes later than usual. But I was just so, you know, oh my gosh, like I'm running late, you know, and it literally threw off my whole day. So honestly, 5 minutes, it killed me. And to be honest with you, when I really think back about that day, it wasn't that bad. Like when I really thought about it, it was just so much in my head. And I think that I just saw, hey, I'm 5 minutes late. It threw off my whole morning. And it was literally me. It was literally those thoughts in my head that just made it go so horrible. Even, you know, it just, I don't know. It just happens like that. And, you know, even not just that, but I know one of the biggest things for me too is like, you know, it sucks, but sometimes like your inner voice, it is echoes of the people, you know, around you. So, you know, when I was with my kid's dad, one of the things that would echo a lot for me was, you know, like, hey, you're working, you know, there was a situation where I feel he felt, me being in the career that I was and the position I was, which was higher. I was making more money. And I think he felt a little threatened by it, unfortunately. And it was super hard because, I would hear this all the time, like, hey, you're working too much. Or like, sometimes even if it was just like, it's fine, just like, I'll pay for it, whatever. When it came to something that like the kids wanted or I wanted, or, if it was just, splurging just a little bit because we did have the money, it's fine. It was always kind of thrown back as in like, I kind of thought it was better for some reason, or or kind of throwing it in his face, when honestly that was not the message at all. It was more as in like, hey, I'm just trying to help us get through a situation, and that echoed in my head for like, a little bit, because I was being told that my hard work was not a good thing. And I could see the benefits of what was coming, from work. But at the same time, like, I was being told I was being told that this was ruining, certain things in my life. And now that I look back on it, like, it wasn't. It literally, I don't know why I let it affect me. I don't know why I let it get to me. I don't know why I let it, become a voice in my head. Because I look back at it now, and to be honest with you, I was doing right by my family, and I always prioritized my kids. They always got what they needed. They had what they had. It led me to the position that I am now. And with the position that I have now, to be honest with you, I have a little bit more free time. There are times sometimes where I can say, hey, I'm going to work from home today, or I'm going to, do this, or I'm going to do something, Why I can't do it every day, it's, it's a little bit easy. It's a little bit more flexible for me to be here versus, before, where it was just like, hey, you have this schedule, you have to clock in, you have to clock out, you have certain things. I can get overwhelmed with work, I'm not gonna lie sometimes, but it's definitely, I have a better handle on it than before. And that inner voice, when it came to work, sometimes like used to get me so bad, because it was always a decision of like, do I push harder, or do I just say, F work and give it all up? Which, I am so glad that I definitely decided to push through it, and decided not to give up, because if I had listened to that inner voice and the what it was echoing from the outside, I would, like I said, I would not be here. I would not be in the position I'm at. I wouldn't be, happy and healthy with my kids and doing half the stuff that I'm doing, because I am basically the main provider, So it takes a lot, you guys. Like, it takes a lot to fight that inner voice, because it echoes things. It tries to tell you, I guess it comes from fear. It comes from fear, and it's basically telling you all the things you can and can't do, whether it's true or not. So at the end of the day, I mean, your mindset really is the one that controls pretty much like whether you do or don't something, and how much you handle a situation and don't, and that's where you have to be, like I said, really kind to yourself. And there's a couple things that I do to help me with that. So, one of the things that I'm doing right now is meditation. I've said it before, but I usually put my meditation on at night while I sleep. And one of the ones that I use, it's like about 3 to 4 hours long. There's longer ones, but it's like 3 to 4 hours long. And it basically just, gives me affirmations about myself, about my abundance, about, like certain situations, things that I want. And it's basically like just it's a guided meditation where it's telling me, to basically, for number one, I can do it all, because you really can do it all. And number two is having that basically, gratitude for it, like I am this, and it talks about it in the present moment. So it's pretty much almost like affirmations going off. And that's what I really like about it, because it, it kind of walks you through it. It kind of gets you settled. And then it's like talking to you about all these things. I know I realized that one of the things that it's been kind of bringing up lately, it does have to do a lot with, in the way that I interact with people and having that confidence to like move up in the position that I'm in. And I know a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Like, you're always talking about that you want to move up and you want this position and this position's for you. Which I do. But my inner voice fights me so bad on it sometimes. I do have a little bit of college, but, I didn't actually finish my college, and it does get to me sometimes, especially when it comes to like, meeting some of these people, meeting some of these managers, directors, and hearing their background. And, usually when you ask them like, oh, what's your background, or, you're just wanting to find out how long they've been in the company or something like that, they usually go back to like even them going back to school kind of thing. And, while it doesn't bother me, I guess sometimes it does like hurt, I guess almost like that ego part of me a little bit, because sometimes I don't understand some of the things, as much as they do. I struggled, learning the finance part of my job, which I don't do a lot with finance, but I did struggle with it a lot more, even like when it came to the other departments, because I can cover a lot of the different departments in my company, but when it came to explaining the finances for a building, like if you were to see those lines, and trying to speak on it, I would get sometimes like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, I can tell you, we're up 15% on this or whatever, because that's what's showing on the little, it's showing on the worksheet, the cell, it's showing up green and it's 15%. So I know it's up 15%. But I can't explain to you like, what led to that, or, or how, if that's, how is that a good thing, and it used to bother me so much, and it did take me a little bit, and at the end, I think it was just having, again, goes back to like my inner voice. I had to basically just be like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna learn this, and I'm going to learn this, because for the longest, I used to be like, I have no idea what that is. I need to learn it. And, everyone would offer me, because I can't even say people didn't offer or I didn't have the help. They would literally tell me like, hey, I'll work with you. I'll show you. It's not that bad, and I would just be like, oh, okay, I'm busy right now, or I have this to do. We'll come back to it later. And I never made the time for it, because again, that was just, I had a bunch of things going on, and again, I think another part of it was just, I kept telling myself like, oh, this is going to take forever. It's going to be so hard. And so then it just felt like, oh, if I was busy today, I just couldn't do it. So then it would just always happen like that. And I feel like the day that I finally said like, no, I need to make time for this, regardless of how long it takes. And it's funny because I even told, the manager that taught me, was like, I told him like, okay, we can probably do this like in a couple days or something. And he kind of looked at me like, it's not that bad. And when I really sat down with him, it was like about like an hour and a half, because he like literally taught me everything on this worksheet. And now that I look back, I'm like, I could have given up an hour and a half so many days, so many days, but it was all in my head, it was all in my head of like, you're not going to get this. You're not going to understand this. It looks so complicated, and these are all the things that, again, it goes back to once you're kinder to yourself, and once you realize like how much a lot of the things that you actually come across is yourself basically stopping you from doing this, you realize like how much comes about, Even just, again, like not even just work, but it could be like, personally, as in making the time for yourself, making the time, to work out, making the time to actually eat healthy. I feel like we all get in our head, so easily. But yeah, it all goes down to, how you talk to yourself, that confidence level that you give yourself. And, you can pretty much do anything. And that's one of the things about even like the getting into like spirituality that I've learned, is that, it's all in your mind. You are literally the controller of your world. And I know a lot of people kind of take it, as in like, oh, can anything really be possible? And they'll throw out like something crazy, And honestly, the answer is yes, because it's all down to you and where you are with your mindset. If you're not, listening to that inner voice that's fighting against you, and on top of that, echoing all these things to you, are you really going to be happy? Are you really going to have that confidence and, that want to do more and to do better? And honestly, we've all heard it a billion times. It's just, I think people don't understand how powerful it is. And it takes a long time. It takes baby steps. Like I'm telling you, I do my meditation. I've been lucky enough where I can do like, classes at work, even where I'm being taught that yes, I am enough and I can do more. Right now I'm actually taking some healing classes because I'm going to be doing Reiki sessions soon. And yeah, like that teaches me that I'm pretty much like, I'm more than enough, and that's one thing that we all have to think, like, and like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. I'm still learning, because I still have my moments where like I'm just, so negative to myself. Even down to like today, I know I was just being so negative with myself when it came to like even doing this video, I'm just like, oh, I'm not feeling it. Well, I'm tired. I was putting all these excuses, and it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that, again, it takes me X amount of time to record it, and I could just get it done. And, I have that time. You know what I mean? I have that time, and I just need to make time for things. But that's it for this episode, you guys. Stick around for your card reading, and then, like I said, keep an eye out, because I am going to be doing a giveaway next month. And you guys are going to see what I've been working on. I'm actually pretty excited about it, because I had been thinking about it for a while, and it's something that is definitely me. So okay, everybody. So for your tarot reading, I am super excited, by the way, to be using these cards, because they've been calling me, and honestly, I'm listening. So the first one is, and I do the same thing as the other one. I keep shuffling till it falls out. So I have the Five of Cups, which usually means that there's a situation that has not turned out in what you feel is your favor, or it's not going the way that you feel that you want it to go. For the second card, okay, I'm getting the Hanged Man. So this usually means that you're stuck, that you feel like you're stuck. You're basically feeling stuck. Hold on, I'm sorry. I need this last card. I feel like I'm getting a message through it of you're feeling this way because something isn't heading the way that you wanted to, or the way that you thought it would come out to. And see, that's what it was, you guys. Justice. So the Justice card means that things are going to work out for the better. The Justice card is not swayed by like anything. It's gonna do the right thing. So you're gonna receive basically your justice. So something didn't work out in the way that you expected it or the way that you wanted it. You're feeling like you're stuck. You feel like you're not getting anywhere, but in fact, it's all happening for a reason, everybody, because the Justice card basically means that it's going to work out for what's best for you. Which is crazy because if you guys follow me on, my Instagram or, whatever social media you use, I actually posted the cards for this weekend that I pulled, and it was talking about how it feels right now like, the end is in sight, and it feels like, like we're not gonna get there. Like you feel like you're, like, oh, I'm never gonna get it. This is just another thing. You feel like you're stuck or you feel like you're going through something. But the end is in sight. Your justice will come. And that's the message for you this week, okay? So have a great week, everybody. And let me know if that resonates because, like I said, it's been 3 times. It's that same message basically, right? Just in different ways that I've heard this weekend. So have a great week, everybody. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe.